Hi everyone, delonewolf here. Welcome back to the Sunday recap, my weekly vlog where I talk a little bit about my last week in games. As always, we'll start with some EVE Online, and it's probably been a little bit less than average EVE Online again this week. This time not because of the weather that much, but because halfway in the week I caught a cold. So I had some problems with my nose, with my ears, low energy, and as a result all I really managed was a little bit of mining. I also joined the mass test, and then I kept up with the blueprint copies, brought those to Cheetah a couple times last week, and yeah, just tried to do a little bit of business. I also did another run of my PI planets this week, which are 6 Isaac planets, nothing too special, but every time I empty them out it's a couple 100 million in PI, and I'm still selling at the moment. Although the PI market is taking a bit of a hit in the last few weeks, we're definitely going closer to normal average prices for PI. I'm still selling what I've got because I do like to have a little bit of extra liquid ISK just in case some of the new PvE content might require me to buy a new ship. Maybe I want some Tech 3 related stuff when that comes out, and yeah, there are many reasons that I do prefer to have some liquid ISK ready rather than keep accumulating extra stuff in Cheetah and wait for the right sell opportunity. On the upcoming features for EVE Online, we do have Project Discovery, of course. I still haven't taken a look at that, but next week there should be a mass test on Tuesday where they'll touch on the features. So hopefully we'll get a bit of an explanation, maybe some testing on that, and we'll definitely try to join the mass test next week as well. And after that, well, we're eagerly awaiting any other information on the future of PvE content that CCP is planning for EVE Online. The entire run up to the December expansion, I think, or the winter expansion this year should be quite interesting. Hopefully CCP will be able to come up with some cool features for us to look forward to. Next up we have some Heroes of the Storm, so I also played that last week, mostly just keeping up with the daily quest, earning my gold so that I can unlock some more heroes. When it comes to playing those regular games, you know, like play 8 games or win 3 games, I tend to still go for Zagara. She's basically still my favorite hero when it comes to Heroes of the Storm. I like that she is basically a specialist that can also be very powerful and very useful in team fights. So this means that if I'm left alone and I can do my thing in a lane, I can definitely push the XP very quickly, give the rest of my team an advantage and make up for my absence from a team fight that way. But if the map objectives are based a little bit more around team fights, then I can be there as well. I have to stay in the background a little bit, but you know, if an enemy hero comes close enough, you put some roaches and a hydralisk straight on them, and after that you can try to basically control the fight, save your enemies a little bit with the banelings. So for that reason I've basically been going a lot more for the banelings that slow down the enemies. Can be very good when there's a chase going on, for instance. Once you get a couple of hits there, they'll be slowed down for several seconds, giving the rest of my team a better opportunity to handle them. And yeah, in general, you know, Zagara is definitely a very powerful hero that can also provide awesome vision around objectives. For instance, the shrines where you summon punishers and things like that. You know, I now am starting to learn to put vision there so that the rest of the team can basically know what's happening, understand where the enemy heroes are, and oftentimes, yeah, surprise them by having the right hero at the right time, flying them, for instance. Things like that. It's been going really well. I also played a couple Lily games, a couple of Chromie games, but when it comes to playing Heroes of the Storm, my go-to hero is still Zagara. I very much enjoy her playstyle. And then finally, for the final game, which is also probably one of the reasons why I've been playing a little bit less EVE Online in the last few weeks, it's Shadow of Mordor. So I bought that game for €4 during the Steam summer sale. Incredible buy. I think for €4 I've had more than 30 hours of fun in the game already. I did just finish the final campaign, you could say, where you're basically playing as Celebrimbor and you're trying to defeat Sauron by using the One Ring against him. In general, I do like the Shadow of Mordor. The gameplay is pretty interesting and quite different, although I must also say that especially on the main campaign, it's mostly the start that is tricky and that can be quite challenging. But once you get certain perks and abilities such as branding, you can start to really build up your own armies wherever you are. The game becomes a lot easier as you gain abilities and you start to understand the mechanics. And so from that perspective, the main campaign, I would say, is quite nicely balanced, because at first the start is pretty tricky. You die a couple of times, especially if you have never played the game before, and you get maybe a couple of captains that become a little bit more powerful and a little bit more challenging. But as you come towards the second part of the first campaign, the second map there, you can brand, you're more powerful, you're more comfortable, you probably have some runes that give you life and things like that as well, and the game becomes a lot easier. I do feel like that allows you to explore the sandboxy nature of it a little bit, right? Trying to take over the right captains, try to build up your own army, and thus, you know, have an easy time progressing through the end. After that, you have the hunt campaign, which was, well, probably a little bit too easy as well, because you're still playing as the ranger. You have all your abilities unlocked, and basically you're super powerful there. So that was a little bit of a stomp, where I basically didn't spend any time on side missions or anything like that, because I could just push through everything. But then the final campaign, when you're playing as Celebrimbor, is a little bit different. You don't have all those powerful runes right away. You don't have as powerful as an ability set as you do with the ranger. The playstyle is quite a bit different, and yeah, you could still basically push through the campaign in one go. You don't really have to do any of the side missions or anything like that. There's also a lot less of them available, but it's a bit more challenging, I have to be honest there. What I don't like is that a lot of those missions are gated behind a timer. So that is one thing that I felt I really enjoyed in the first part of the game, is that you could always take your time, decide on your approach, then try to execute it. When it comes to the final campaign as Celebrimbor, you're sometimes stuck in, well, the only way to manage maintaining a follower army of 10 orcs here is to go with that type of ability and just spam that over and over and over again. So there is one effective way of getting things done within the timer, and that's really all you could do in order to finish those missions. That's one aspect that I didn't really like about the final campaign, but I must say that on the other hand, of course, it was a little bit more challenging than the hunt campaign, where you're basically so powerful that there's hardly any risk. I don't think I even died during that campaign, and I did die a couple times as Celebrimbor, especially to Sauron himself at the end. But yeah, Shadow of Mordor, really great game in my opinion, especially if you can pick it up for like 80% off on a Steam sale. And this does make me look forward to Shadow of War, where the way I'm looking at it, I mean, I'm gonna wait for the reviews before I actually jump in on that, but the way I'm looking at what they've been showing so far is that you have Shadow of Mordor with being able to brand captains and things like that, but then you'll have an entire layer above that where you'll hopefully be able to like customize your army, give them strongholds, and yeah, basically add an entire new layer, an entire new dynamic above the game of Shadow of Mordor itself. Sounds very promising to me, and so that is definitely one game that I am looking forward to as well. That's going to be it for this week, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.